That's why he's here. I love it. It's a little bit too much.
Wow.
John, is it good back there?
Yeah. Is it the altitude that's getting him, or?
I don't know. I mean, this is like the first time we've had that happen, though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You see what happens when you take someone from an area that has consecutive 100-degree days and put them in beautiful weather? They don't know how to act.
I wouldn't expect them to get angry about it.
It's because he's going home soon.
It's the lack of oxygen. Wow, it's weird hearing myself talk in my headphones.
It's weird hearing you
And
talk.
that's
period.
the end of hearing John for the evening.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely the lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
So
what's up.
I think I don't know. There's a massive delay there, and we don't have a monitor here like per normal, because we are clearly in a different space than we have been the last few times. But welcome, everybody.
What's up?
Appreciate you guys being here to get this started. We got some cool things to talk about, and obviously, first of all, we got to say hello, Joey. Ready for your flexing?
Joey, we're still working on that segment for you. Like, I promise we're going to make that a thing, man. Because honestly, just first of all, simply working for Sony is a flex.
That's fair to a degree.
Of course, no.
Hey, man, some of these other people are going to have some flexes too.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, look, I'm only worried about me. That's flex number one.
Bing.
All right. Yeah.
Something
There we
like
go.
that.
Okay.
Anyway,
sorry.
yes, it's time for Multipolar World. Welcome back again. Good
That's my
evening.
dude. What's up?
That's going to become so much easier to say as time goes on, because I remember I struggled that first episode because that's not a collection of words I often say in that order. But thank you. Well, welcome back.
Absolutely.
Ronan back again.
What's
Hello. Great to see you. And we've got SEY30 Spyderco. I hope I can just say Spyderco, but yes.
You're Derek. You can say whatever you want to say.
Fair.
See? I'm on a roll.
Appreciate
That's
that.
2 fairs already in the opening segment. That's pretty good.
This has been a weird trip overall, but we are clearly not on our normal setup, because we're actually in Denver right now in a studio, because we've been at Cydia. So we do have a lot of the Cydia stuff to talk about. So if you guys have any questions, hopefully we can answer some of that.
Yes.
Just want to throw that out there, of course, as per normal. Any comments, questions, fire away. We'll do our best to answer everything that we can for what we are allowed to say and what we're allowed to share.
Yes.
Which I know sometimes is difficult both for us and you, but...
Oh, I'm going to test the limits.
Yeah, I know you always do.
I'm going to test the
limits. But so far, you're still here, which is good.
Shocking, right?
Shocking, yes.
Has never tuned in before.
Yes.
You guys care to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes.
That's Larry.
Hi. No. Yeah. Wow, that's weird. Yeah, I am definitely Larry. Most likely
Larry?
to get in trouble during a given show.
That's fair.
Right? And
2. That's 3.
Yeah, for real. It's right. Yeah. And this, of course, is Derek.
That's me. I'm Derek. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. And I want to say this, too, because obviously this will be available for people to watch after the live. So those of you who are checking this out after the fact, Larry and I do check the comments, and we will do our best to respond to everything that we can. Being that this is a Sony after-hour support, what does that exactly mean? Because that can be many, many things. We will do our best to give you some ideas of how you can fix some of your current issues. If it's something that we can't handle, sometimes there are technical things that we don't have the product here to kind of go through specifics. So you can always go to the Sony support site. But we'd love to hear that stuff too. But also, let us know some of your thoughts, some of the things that you love, challenges that you have, things you'd like to see. We want to just know, because we are opening up this door to truly listen to what our fans are saying.
Yes.
Is that your phone? Did you mute it?
It's not my phone,
I'm
brother.
sorry.
See?
It's a Sony, just saying. But and for those of you also who want to ask questions about getting the right product for your needs, would you offer the Sony one-on-one consultation program, which is free for 30 minutes, one-on-one conversation with the Sony expert to help you find the right solution for your needs, and we'll have the link in the description for that as well.
Yep, it's awesome. Yeah.
It was a lot of words.
Well, it was a lot of words, but it's good words.
I'm going to mute
It's fine. You should do that. Sorry, everybody. But so as Derek was saying, like we're in Denver, Colorado right now for the Cydia event. Now, I'm sure many of you all, because obviously so many of our viewers that I love may not be in the U.S., so are not sure what the Cydia event and the show is about. Cool thing about Sony products is that we build products specifically for our customers, our extended family, if you will, so that they can enjoy them. But also we have a pro side of our business, pro displays, commercial applications, things of that nature. A lot of the custom integrators that actually take product and make them super products in the home, the things that they can do with that is incredible. We had this event and this show, we're part of this show to be able to showcase our different applications to those custom integrators around the world, actually, and show them why Sony is a great option for their clients, not just our customers.
Yeah, that was kind of the big message was people know that Sony is this great brand, but it's not just us, because there are certain things that we don't do, like smart home things,
Right.
wall controls and stuff. But by partnering with those people and making it work seamlessly with our product is just a win for the customers, ultimately, to get a seamless experience out of that stuff, because that's the point.
Right.
You get a smart home to make your life easier, and if it's not going to work, then what's the point?
Yep. So along those same lines, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
I've been holding this question back, actually. Of everything that we saw today, everything
tell
that
where you're going,
yeah,
but
you know
go
where I'm
ahead.
going. Everything that we saw today, everything that we had a chance to experience, what's one product that wowed you? And I know because we're around so much technology, but what's one product that wowed you that sort of kind of made you pause for a second?
That is tough because we have seen a lot of things. That is kind of one of the benefits of being in this role, is being able to see some of this stuff ahead of everybody else.
Right.
But I still, okay, I think I know what I'm going to commit to, because there was a couple things I was thinking of. And I'm going to have to say the 98-inch X90L. It's one of those things that it's an X90L, which is already amazing because the improvements over last year are just absolutely fantastic. But the 98-inch size, and it was great because when you walk in the doors on that side of the entrance, it was 10 feet in front of the entrance, there. And it's just that massive scale. I put my arms out, and it was, I couldn't see myself, but I assume it was wider than my arms are, my wingspan, if you will.
It was impressive.
It's just so impressive because the size is crazy, and especially the TV you get for the dollar is pretty crazy. And now, unfortunately, it wouldn't fit in my house no matter what. But, well, if I broke it, but I'm not going to do that because that would defeat the purpose. But so obviously I have to turn that around to you, and I hope you're not going to say the same. You feel obligated to not say the same.
I'm not. But can I say something about the 98, which was interesting to me? Usually, years past, last year was different, but years past, we reserved that mega size display for our more flagship, Master Series products. I think it's a testament to what we've done with the advancements of the X90L. Because look, let me tell you guys, listen. The larger the display, the more faults are exposed, or weaknesses or challenges with a product, right? Like the bigger that display gets, all of a sudden, all of its inadequacies. Can I say that?
Sure.
That'll work?
Yeah.
All right. Shortcomings?
No, inadequacies.
You guys feel me. Oh, wow. Those things are exposed. And looking at walking in, and I saw the people as soon as they rushed in and they saw the 98 X90L, it stopped them literally in their tracks. I'm not sure if you guys have ever been to a concert or a sporting event where everybody's waiting to break down the gate, and then as soon as the doors open, it's like, phew, everybody's blasting. There were 3 or 4 fast steps, and then it was like, I'm gonna roll with sound effects today, by the way. And it stopped them in their tracks because it had them in awe. So yes, I 98 is, but I'm not gonna say that.
Thank you for validating my opinion. I appreciate that.
Sometimes you need me
Hey, can
for
can I take a second to do something more important than talking to you?
100%.
Awesome. I'm going to talk to them out
Okay,
there.
sure.
So, yeah, just before you answer it, because I feel like you want to kind of catch up on your time there. What? No, do you? I'm about to say hello to Fully Done. Fully Done. Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for being here with us.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Let's see. And also, we'll address the Matt Johnson question.
Yes, we will.
We'll get to that because that's one of those tougher ones.
Oh, multipolar world is on a roll. But let me tell you my product real quick. Let me just get that out of the
Get
way.
back to that question in a second. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just get this out of the way, okay? I have an incredible projector at home.
So I hear.
I have Joey, you need to start counting now. I have an A95K at home, okay? It's beautiful, right? I have an A90J at home. So I'd like to think that with respect to display quality, I'm trying to get 10 in the first, few
You'll
minutes
get
here.
there. I know you will.
I think I know a thing about that. What stopped me in my tracks, and this is not technically a easily attainable consumer product, but if I'm okay to talk about it, the crystal LED the crystal LED displays.
Display, yep.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
Yes, that was something else. And I don't know if anybody had a chance to actually check it out because there was White Everybody's favorite watching y'all at the dealer event here in Denver. So I assume you had a chance to check it out. So yeah, I'd be interested. Hopefully you had a chance to check it out because yeah, that stuff's
Beautiful.
next level.
Beautiful displays. We won't go into them at length, but I'm just, if there's products that we showcase at an event like this that you just can't see all the time, it's that. Crystal LED, 2 different applications, okay? One that focuses heavily on brightness, which is designed more for commercial applications, things of that nature, like businesses. And then there's one that focuses on contrast, which, listen, are you listening?
I'm listening.
For it to just be full HD and not our 4K version of crystal LED, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference.
Yeah, that was really incredible to see the differences between the two. And there was that comment too about it kind of being more business and industry. Yeah, to a degree, absolutely. But I'm not one of these folks, but there are going to be those people out there that'd be like, I would like to get this for my sunroom or something ridiculous. That's somebody else flexing way more than we can. But
real.
I mean, it's awesome. The concept is fantastic. The contrast is incredible. But obviously the CH series, which is the contrast series, and the BH is the brightness series, they do have that separate purpose and that separate use, but they do look amazing.
They do.
From that, and they're modular, and it's a whole thing. And I'm sure we'll probably have more discussions on that as we go forward in the future. But it's awesome.
Trying to get them to send me one.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's not going to happen. This single panel, you like just see somebody's elbow every now and then.
Please don't destroy a young man's dream, okay?
I will if it's like that.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. We can.
So
go.
I want to go back to these
Yes.
Matt Johnson questions, and I'm going to lean on you a little bit more for this because you are tapped in more than I am into that side of the business. But I know also there might be some things that we don't know on the answer to that. So let's start with the first one.
Yep.
About the new Pentonic chip. Is that what's holding up the A95L? Is this true? Now, just semi-spoiler, A95L was at Cydia.
Yes.
And it was awesome. So
2 of them.
2 of them. Yep. 2 different sizes. So it was awesome. But I don't know if you can, or if you're able to elaborate on that.
I don't know specific. This is not a disclaimer moment, so that's good. I don't have the specifics, but what I can tell Matt Johnson out there is that before we release, especially if it's a flagship model, and on the A95L, it is introducing several exclusive features. For a lot of features that it's the first time us doing that, right? So the amount of testing and retesting and testing again that we do to ensure that we're not delivering a product that immediately, once upon receipt, is going to be like, okay, now you need to have 5 more firmware updates to fix mistakes. It's not what we want to do, right? I don't know if that's the reason. I will tell you that, again, you and I both have spent a decent amount of time, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the A95L a little bit later, but we've spent a decent amount of time with the unit, and it's right now it might just be strategic timing and planning. You know, build up the anticipation, deliver on the goods, and then completely, drop the mic and destroy the game.
There you go. Can we give that like a Sony collective flex there? Is that
Right,
Larry,
Emma? And
Larry
that's
combo?
That's a T-shirt merch coming soon.
But you did actually segue, and this actually might be a really good place to kind of go a little bit more into that, because Matt continued, which I just want to call out.
Okay.
Can't wait to get for mine to arrive. So, party at Matt's house, so he could flex on you, which would be great.
Killing me. Man.
But yeah, just the question for allowing Dolby Vision 4K 120 VRR supported on the same HDMI port
I know the
without
answer to
having
that.
to switch modes.
Yeah. The answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. That is the beautiful thing. And I do want to go on record by saying I'm not sure if I can really disclose or talk chip. So I will just speak to the tech and the feature. But you're right. So traditionally, like right now as it stands, you go into the enhanced settings for our HDMI, and you have to choose whether or not you want 4K 120 VRR or if you're looking for Dolby Vision. Because the A95L is the world's first QD OLED that supports Dolby Vision, that is one of the primary reasons why we wanted to make sure that it is a seamless integration, and with our continued growing commitment to the gaming platform and those features and the individuals that want to take advantage of those features, that's why we've made, it's my long-winded way of saying yes.
It works. No, I think that does sum it up very well, and I appreciate that, Matt. I agree with you completely. That is one of those things that, as I've been with Sony, like some of the stuff that I've heard about, how things are handled with reviews and how they take literally everything that's said from this doesn't seem to do this, or I have challenges with that. Like, it's a big deal, a bigger deal, and we're trying to figure out all these different ways, and even us, like, how do we then convey that message out to the folks to, hey, it's a misunderstanding of the product or misuse of the product in some cases, because that stuff happens. Who reads instructions, really? But we legitimately do care about making sure this stuff works when it comes out. So
100%.
So I do want to pause really quickly on this, and I knew this one is going to go. I mean, we wing it anyway. Those of you who've been here, you
guys know us.
You guys know how this is going to go. It's just going to go. It's just going to happen. Who knows how long we'll be here? Yeah. We'll see. But to talk a little bit very quickly about some of the new releases that have come out with our release radar little segment. And I don't know if there's going to be an overlay. I'm just going to trust that John's doing what he gave 2 thumbs up, so I assume that's doubly good. But
I bet you my timing was there too.
Maybe. That would be pretty cool. You'll have to let us know in the comments.
Right.
Oh. Okay, nice. Okay, I see it there.
There it is. Okay.
I just don't know if there's an audio delay, so I'm just going to trust you. Anyway, so as far as new products, since the last time we had this, not too much, but we did have 3 pretty big things in the digital imaging space with 2 new cameras that came out, the Alpha 7C2 and the Alpha 7CR, which are awesome. Those of you who are interested in photography, these are great options for a smaller sized but full frame feature packed mirrorless camera that are absolutely amazing. I got to hang out with the Alpha 7CR briefly, unfortunately, because I got to send it back. But, oh man, it was awesome. I have an Alpha 7 IV and an Alpha 7R Mark III, but just having all this extra power in a smaller size was just insane.
Why does no one count that as a Derek flex? I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't flex.
Bro,
If I did, it would be negative flexing.
Anyway.
From a physical standpoint. Anyway, it was, dude, I didn't even get to keep it. Or are you talking about the ones that I have?
Yeah, see? You didn't even, anyway.
Hey.
We'll take that offline.
That's fair. But yeah, so just a couple things about the differences between the two. The Alpha 7C2 is often compared to the Alpha 7 IV, and the Alpha 7CR is often compared to the Alpha 7 R Mark V because they have some similarities, but to put this out there, because some people are like, well, it doesn't have how is this compared to this, and you don't have this, but you have this. There, as we go, as we release new product, we don't want to take things away. And as technology is continually developed, if we have the opportunity to put it in a new product, it makes sense to do so. Now, there are going to be some features, and I'm not going to go into all those details here, because you can always check out the website or put some questions in there.
Or check out your video.
Yeah, that's true. I did a little video on the Alpha 7 CR, and Alice did one for the Alpha 7C too.
She did.
So you can check those out as well to get a little bit more information. But there's a difference for who those are for. If somebody wants that portability is going to be primary, as well as getting a lot of these features, then that's what the Alpha 7C series is for. C for the compact, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah. But if you need the dual card slot for being a professional shooter, then it might not be for you. Right. That's where you have the Alpha 7 R Mark V.
Very good.
Scientist. Yeah, I know. I was like, wait, so they're hard to say really fast. But lastly, I do want to add in there too.
Of course.
We did have a new lens that's also coming out, the 16 to 35 G Master Mark II, which somehow they've improved the XA elements, the extreme aspherical elements, which allows for just super, super sharp edge-to-edge pictures. It's actually faster autofocusing, which is crazy in and of itself. But so if you are digital imaging fans or people just love photography or know people who love photography, now you know. That's a thing. That's a thing that we did. Or video. Yes. Oh, man.
That's true.
I think I lose flex points.
Nah, you're good.
Can you lose flex points in that?
Not with me sitting next to you talking about cameras. No.
That's true.
Please.
Ooh, yes. Anybody have any difficult camera questions? Larry's your guy. Everybody in the room is laughing at that because they all know.
If you ever want to see Larry get quiet,
there you go.
Ask him a camera question.
I love it. Yeah, you're not wrong.
It is. But it's pretty cool. Like, and I know that there was a lot of questions that came up after you released your video. Alice did her video regarding those products, and the buzz was there. Look, the buzz was there before the announcement.
Oh man, it's
always
how it goes.
That was insane, but that's good. That's exciting. We continue to build on, I'll say, our dominance in that space. Mm-hmm. In the mirrorless space, we're doing so much, innovating so quickly, and it's really, it reminds me of a question that one of the viewers asked about camcorders.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you mentioned that one earlier. Yep. Yeah.
The question was, it's been almost 6 years since Sony has updated a camcorder, and you and I were having our discussion, again, mostly you because we were talking about digital imaging, about with these advancements in technology with respect to mirrorless, there's a place for camcorders. You told me it's something about the limit, right?
That was really the main reason to have camcorders for a while before it started to really kind of switch over was the recording limit on DSLRs and mirrorless. You couldn't do what you could with a camcorder, but that's really starting to change. So now you have this super flexible imaging device that can do incredible video. You can get different types of lenses for wider angle and macro and better f-stops and stuff like that. So it's just sort of evolved that way. I don't know really what to expect in the future for that. I don't know if they're done because, even when you go up into the professional level, they're still all digital, Venice and things like that. But that's a whole different world. But
yeah, we're stepping so much into AI-based, what do you see?
It's like it literally as soon as you said that.
Oh.
And it's about time that AI was added to full-frame cameras.
See, great
That's
minds,
amazing.
Right? But it's that's I think that the future is bright, and I'm excited for that. And I love what Ronan just said. Sony giving content creators all the power to express themselves, unlike any other company out there. Any.
That was all caps. He yelled that.
That's serious emphasis.
They yelled that.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And that group that's responsible for those products, that develop those engineers, I think that's exactly what they're hoping to hear from. So that's awesome.
I want to, because I know I'm going to need to take this one. The comment about the AI.
Oh, you
because
absolutely.
It is.
Yes.
It is starting to come into our cameras, and specifically more starting with the ZVE1 was that, and the Alpha 7R Mark V do have some AI elements to them. The AI-based auto framing, we'll take that for example, because that is on the new C series cameras, where it's really cool. I did a video on that too, so if you get a chance to check it out, it's best to see it. But the camera can identify a subject. You shoot wide, and it automatically crops in and follows you. So it's like you actually have somebody behind the camera that's actually able to move and make sure you're in focus. Obviously, there's a limit to how far you can go because the camera physically does not move, but it actually tracks you. So that's part of this AI.
Right.
But also, you have the human pose estimation, which is AI-based. We all want it, well, photographers know that you want to take a great picture of somebody or even video, and you want to have this more emotion to it, you want to get the eyes. So first it was face autofocus, right? Then it became eye autofocus and tracking in video and stuff like that. But now with the human pose estimation, this takes it to the next level, because now if somebody turns around, in that moment, the cameras would lose, okay, I don't see any eyes at all, so it doesn't know what to do. But now with the human pose estimation, it knows, okay, this is the head, so be ready for the moment that that person turns, it locks onto the eye and tracks you. It's insane to see it in action, because it's so fast, it's so accurate. Yeah, so AI, it's happening, but what the limit's gonna be, it's gonna be, I don't know. But also the second part of that, about add Android to Alpha cameras, I don't see that happening, but the Creators app
Yes.
is, I know you're a fan.
I'm a
You
huge,
want to talk about that? Once you discovered it, how it changed your life?
absolutely, with all my digital imaging expertise. No, the Creators app actually has made me embrace more of the camera. So clearly we do videos, right? We are the target audience in a sense that these cameras are made for. Going into the menu system of the Alpha 7 IV, which is what I have, I understood it. I think it's laid out better than its predecessors.
I would agree, yeah.
in my opinion, right? However, I was an Imaging Edge mobile type of a user, and I was frustrated with a lot of the limitations. I think there was a lot I could not control.
Yep.
When I started using the Creators app, well, let's just be honest. First of all, it made me do it.
Well, that's fair because of the updates, which we'll also talk
was
about that
yeah.
soon.
It's like, so I tried to open up Imaging Edge, and it's like, nah, bro.
No.
Nah, bro, try again. Download this app. Like, it did. It seriously, like, twisted my arm and forced me. But anyway, I'm glad it did, though, right? So I downloaded that app, and now the controls that I have sitting, the thing that I hated the most about making the content that we make was, like, before I would just push record on the phone, and then if I had to change a setting, I'd have to get up, sit down, then get up, and sit down. It was just painful, right? But to have the extended amount or extended number of controls that I have now available in the Creators app, it's simplified a ton.
Yeah, it brought everything to it, because I did update mine, because I actually run Imaging Edge desktop is what I do. And I do run a cable to it, and it makes it super easy to control the things I can, but it doesn't have everything. But the Creators app has, like, literally, I don't say everything, but it's it seems like it's everything, because there's a ton of things you can do. So anyway, great stuff. I love that. And I just very quickly, again, I love these people here. I love this. Yeah. Why isn't Sony pushing the lens to living room more? Oh, we do, but I guess it depends on.
But I understand that question. We had a meetup with some very talented individuals in Los Angeles a few months ago.
Yes. Yep. You're right.
We were at a location that's super cool to be at. Anyway, but when we started, I can say DMPC.
Yeah, it's a Sony thing.
Just wanted to make sure. Everybody in the room is now jumping on me because I didn't say it. Let me make sure I say it. Okay, anyway, just kidding. So we're at DMPC, and I don't know that in my mind it was 50 people in the room. We'll just say, and we talk amongst each other all the time about lens to living room. I have been around long enough to where sporting events on Sundays, the commercial that would begin it would be all about the lens to living room and our commitment to delivering exceptional sports performance, motion, and all that on our TVs. That's how it's a long.
And how HD is in our game.
And how HD is in our DNA. Yeah, HDNA campaign. I like that. Okay, so I'm dating myself now. We all are. Yeah. However, we were in this room and we were talking about lens to living room and what we do and how closely we work with directors of photography, how closely we work with some of the biggest names in the industry to revolutionize how we're capturing content, how it's mastered, how it's broadcast, and how it's delivered in the living room. And more than 75% of the room was like, that's a great story. You guys should tell people.
I know. I remember that. I was a little taken aback because, a lot of what our group does is work with folks that are in retail spaces. And we do share that story with a lot of retail associates so much that I think they're sick of hearing it. But it is one of those things that no matter how many times you say it, it's probably the first time somebody's going to hear it. And to no fault of theirs, but, it's a little bit different when you truly believe and see and understand how that goes from literally from somebody's concept all the way to somebody's house, enjoying a movie or TV show, touching Sony on every single point along the way, which is that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, if we can, I'm not sure. And so, all right, Ronan, I need a favor from you since you brought this up. We're going to put a link in the chat to one of the videos that I believe Francois did that talks about lens to living room.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to put that link in the description. If everyone that is either here live now or watches us on replay, share that link with one person. Like, seriously, it's not the whole story, but Francois does a really, really good job of telling the story.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That so share that if you don't mind. Do me that solid if you don't mind and share that. So that's my ask.
Okay.
Can I do that?
I mean, they're not obligated.
They're not.
So it's entirely up to them. But I do love that, and I think that is something. It's like sparked something in me that I think we need to either. Well, I know he has got his video, but maybe we need to relook at that and re-envision how we can do that a little bit more.
I agree.
So, man,
I agree.
100%. Got my gears turning as slow as they do.
Let's do it. Hey, you know what? We do a really good job of concept, but we need to do a better job of putting it on paper.
For those that don't know, our boss is in the room, and he approves of that statement.
Hilarious.
Anyway, all right, so to get back to this, so just a quick reminder, though, too, obviously, please let us know any questions, comments, anything that you guys want to throw at us, please do. And those of you that are watching it after the fact when it is not live, Larry and I will be looking at the comments and questions after the fact, too, to hopefully answer all those to the best of our ability.
100%.
So to kind of go back, you know what? Let's actually jump to the next section because I think we hit a lot of the Cydia stuff, which we're going to do that again, of course, too, because there is some more stuff we want to talk about. But let's talk about some facts.
Oh, facts.
I don't know if John was ready for that one. Oh, he's scrambling. He's scrambling. I don't know if he's going to do it.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Facts, yes.
And I know that you have one that when you researched it and you shared this info with me,
Yes.
it kind of blew my mind, honestly.
This is like 6 months in the making, I want to say. If there's been a question that I've been asked a lot that made me feel uncomfortable, it's been this question.
Okay.
And several people have commented on some of our videos. Why do Sony TVs not support Android 14? You guys are still supporting Android 10. The great assumption after that was, it seems as though you guys skipped 11, 12, 13, 14. That was the big deal.
Right.
And I just admittedly, I didn't have an easy answer for that. So it's not that I get on the defensive. I start thinking, I don't know how to handle this question. I'm lost, right? And Derek has said a number of times, we don't know everything, right? And so I was making some assumptions that, man, Android 14 must be like game-changing, revolutionary. Why don't we have...
We're
We're missing something. Which prompted me to just ask the very fundamental question, actually, what is Android 14 and what's the difference?
Seems so obvious.
It does, right? So let me outline this. Just anybody that's ever asked or wondered this question. So first of all, Android 14, last I checked, is not available on any Google TV television.
That's my understanding too.
I believe that it is on another Google TV device that's not a television.
Right.
Okay? Anyway, so I started looking at it. I'm like, okay, so what is really Android 14 all about? The majority of the features that are enhanced are accessibility features. And we're super committed to accessibility on our side with TVs, right? And when I'm talking about accessibility, I'm talking about things like people that have vision challenges, right? So on Android 14, you can do things like make all of the system text bold. You can make all of the system text outlined, right? You can do higher contrast. There's also, and I'm not going to dare try to use the terms in the settings, but for people that have vision impairments specific to colors, like a specific color blindness, for red, green, blue, so on and so forth, there are adjustments in settings that account for that, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is what's listed in the article that I read about it, is the biggest advancement has been Android's commitment to sustainability in environmentally friendly settings. Like within their operating system, these are low energy, low energy consumption settings that change those things specifically for that. Interestingly enough, did you know
he got it, even though it wasn't part of the segment.
that just
Yes, we'll keep you.
recently we did launch our Eco Dashboard that when doing my personal side-by-side comparison to the settings provided on Android 14 versus our Eco Dashboard settings, not only is our menu system more intuitive and easier to follow, it actually gives you more control, right? So again, I understand the question that comes up about Android 14 because A, it's a number, and we always want the higher number, right? It's funny because we're going to talk about that too. We always want the higher number, but as it stands right now, there are some unique Sony settings that are built into our televisions that address many of the settings that platform or that operating system delivers that aren't necessary for us because we've already addressed them.
Yep.
So
yeah, and I wanted to kind of throw, because as we were talking about that, sort of my theory, my working theory as of this point, because we really don't have the specific details as to why, but knowing how, and this could be for any other company that's using Google as a basis, but I can speak from the Sony standpoint. We're very proud of our color. The color accuracy, the realism, that's what we're striving for, is delivering that creator's intent directly to you. And if you have essentially another company, no fault of them, but for what they're trying to do that may change the color in some way, how is that going to work? My computer fell asleep. But that's just a working theory that I feel like that's one of the roadblock currently.
I think, I like your theory.
I could be wrong, but I don't really know how much of a difference it makes. I'm lucky enough to not have that issue, but it's interesting that all of this hype about you're missing out on all these things. Unfortunately, there are certain things that certain people need some of these accessibility features we don't have, which isn't great, but it's not something that personally, I wouldn't really have anything that I would really benefit from personally. And I think a lot of people are just assuming it's this performance thing. It's probably better, somehow enhances contrast or backlight control. I don't know, really, or just speediness. I don't know, whatever it's going to be. But it doesn't do those things.
No, yeah.
So, and while we're still on the subject of facts.
Oh, okay.
Bravia Core.
Yeah.
Bravia Core, for those of you who have Sony TVs, which I hope is all of you out there, and if not, hey, we have a few options for you. And if you need help choosing the right one, we do offer a free Sony one-on-one consultation. So if you need help finding the right one, we've got that too. But it was kind of flubbed a little bit. I tried. I did my best. But, I had good intentions. But if you do have one, even if it's maybe a year or two older, check out the Play Store and see if you can download it to your TV, because the update is going to other models. Unfortunately, we don't have the full list of all the models that it's going to. But check that out and see. And if you are watching this on your TV, or if you have a chance to go to your TV, throw it in the comments. If you were like, hey, my X90 whatever has it, let us know. I'd be curious.
If we were in San Diego, we'd have the list.
This is true.
I would have just opened
Next
up
time.
Someone's file cabinet and just took the list.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Okay, so all right, on Bravia Core, there is some super exciting. Nah, we'll save that for next time.
Stay tuned.
We'll save that for next time.
But it sounds pretty cool.
We'll save that one for next
Save
time.
that one for later. Yeah. Just keep that in mind, guys. Yeah. So since we kind of finished our little bit on that, I obviously want to focus on the people that are here. Thank you, Mexico Soldier. Good to see you here as well. Absolutely. Could you? It's time for a multipolar world. Could you guys talk a little bit about spatial reality display, or SRD? I found this product really interesting because it is really interesting. I can talk a little bit about it because I did some of the booth tours of CES last year, or this year, technically. It's still the same year.
Oh my goodness.
Feels like a long time ago. It's awesome. It's a really cool concept of a display. They had a larger, I forget the size off the top of my head, because they actually had the smaller size a couple years ago, and this one, it's a larger size. But essentially what it does is it is tracking your eyes, and I can't go into the tech exactly how that works, but it's tracking your eyes and sends a separate image simultaneously to each eye, giving you a stereoscopic view or 3D view of whatever it is on the screen. Yeah. The purpose of that is cool. The demo, everybody that I took around in the booth, it was so funny because people would go there and they'd first have to like adjust as it starts to like read their face and determine the eyes, and they kind of sit there for a second and they're like, whoa, and just like, whoa. And a lot of them were like grabbing at it. It was really cool. But the purpose being that people who are doing manufacturing of parts or something like that and working with somebody overseas or somebody remote, you can literally kind of look at this piece or this idea or this concept, whatever it is, and see it as if it's physically here in 3D space, which is so cool. And you can also do that for video game characters to get more that three-dimensional perspective versus like scrolling on a mouse or something like that. It's super cool. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have it again at CES, but I have no clue what's happening. But if you ever get a chance to see it somewhere, make sure you do, because it is, it's something else.
I actually saw version 1 in, I think version 1, 2019. I remember it was really weird, right? There was like no name of the product. You had to be on a specific list to even go demo. Like it was a very it was a very exclusive. It was super cool, right? So I happened to be working that section, and I remember the demo vividly. It was a couple doing ballroom dancing, okay? And when I remember looking at it and moving around, I could see different sides of these three-dimensional objects in this space. That was, right?
It's
it was
trippy.
So cool.
It's a little trippy because we're so accustomed to 3D needing glasses or something, or where you can't move.
Right.
But this is like reacting to you moving. It's nuts. That's a good question. I haven't talked about that one in a long time, but I remember that one because it stuck with me. But we did have another question coming out. So kind of continuing on about it, like it's kind of more for industry and business use. I can't really speak for India specifically. I want to say it was, maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to say the wrong price, but I remember looking it up around the time, the first version around CES time, because I did have some people that were asking about it, some people that were like animators and things like that. And it definitely is on the higher side for somebody who is going to be committed to using it for its purposes. But yeah, it's really kind of designed for that. And I do want to add in, of course, there's the medical purposes too, of visualizing, if after you do a scan of somebody's brain or arm or whatever, and you can actually look at it in more of a three-dimensional space, which is pretty cool. I think you're looking for something right now.
Yeah, I am. And
but,
thank you.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh, well, John's going to
It's
help
funny.
out with that.
Yeah, when you mentioned medical, that's interesting. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know a lot of the advancements in imaging and things that we do on the medical side. Those are things that we also don't talk about.
That's true.
That's a
Somebody
whole
brought
nother,
that up.
Yeah, it's a whole nother thing.
That is a whole nother thing. We do a lot. I mean, from us here,
Yep.
I can speak for myself. I do a lot.
Yeah.
Larry, it's hit or miss depending on the day. But no, he does a lot. I promise. Boss is in the background. Anyway,
Boss is in the background.
but yeah, no, there is a lot as far as Sony as a company as a whole. It's well beyond really probably our knowledge in most cases. Semiconductors and all that crazy stuff too. So.
In multipolar world, like, so low-key, I'm asking that same question about Bravia Core going to Xperia. I don't know. I think I just haven't asked either the right person or with the right amount of passion. Because I really, really want to know. I am a hardcore, even not as if I wasn't a Sony employee, I would still rock an Xperia phone. It's weird. I will argue people down. No, it is, because because there's not a lot of marketing behind
That's true.
our phones. I love our phones, and I love Bravia Core. Clearly, I talk about it at least once every, and I would love to have that on the go.
Every hour.
And it is available in other countries, just not North America right now as a whole.
Yeah,
but
we'll have to see. I do want to address too 75 Starfish. So when is 3D tech? So specifically, what I was talking about with that 3D tech was the spatial reality display, which they put a link in. So that is available. It is a thing that exists. I know this previous CES was when they released a larger version. I don't know if that's available yet. I don't really know the story of what that's going on. That's a different group. Yeah. But yeah, missing 3D TVs. That's one of those things you get somebody who's like, where are they? And be like, I never used it. So it's like,
you know what?
It's all over the place.
So you know what a lot of customers have done that want the 3D experience?
Do tell.
They've gone Projector.
This is true. Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
the origination of 3D technology was in theaters, in movie theaters, right? And so to your point, there was this back and forth about, look, there's a cost associated with every feature in a TV. Let's just be real, right? And across the board, there just wasn't a high enough demand, consumer demand at a given price point to also support that feature and the other advancements that everyone is expecting. However, customers that do have front projection, a lot of them take advantage of 3D technology and do so. So it's been an interesting concept. So like the concept and support for 3D it hasn't gone away completely, but there's a lot that still has to exist. But just
and I know that you can actually do 3D on the XW6000, XW7000 projectors that we have too. So and then Ronin had to flex. Good on you. The Z9D, beast of a TV. Absolutely.
That's one of
last
two
thing
unicorns.
I want to, yes, absolutely. Just to address before we go into the next section really quickly, will spatial reality be compatible with PlayStation? I have no idea what they're going to do with it in the future. I don't know if that's currently where they're heading, but this is one of those devices that Sony's like, here's this crazy concept that we have proven works. Yep. Where will it go? I have no idea, but that's going to be really interesting to see. I think that would be pretty awesome, though, honestly.
Yep.
So let's dive into the next segment, bite-sized guide.
Oh, yes.
I think there's an S on there. Bite-sized guides.
Yeah. And can
It's
you believe
guide
I
today.
don't have mine on? I took mine off.
Oh, I took mine off too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh no.
So,
Wah, wah. Okay, well we can talk about it, or do you want to run away and get them?
Jack, do you mind?
I'm
sorry.
We're calling it. Okay, so I'm going to start the conversation while Larry's just pointing and looking weird. So we're going to quickly talk a little bit about how to best fit the WF-1000X Mark Vs. The reason we bring this up is that there are, we've actually heard, because again, we are literally listening to so much. Nice catch, very good. So many of our customers about challenges they have or questions that they have, and that's what we are here to do too. So anything you want to throw at us, please let us know. We can't fix everything, unfortunately, but we will do our best, and at very minimum, we promise that we are listening, and we are trying to get that to whoever can do whatever with it. But since you have yours, if you want to kind of really talk about that.
Yeah, so a lot of conversations about fit, about noise canceling or noise isolation with the seal of the earbuds. Lots of that. And I know I don't have a zoomed in video, but just a couple of things that I want to point out that are really important. We talked, I think, last episode about fit test, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about that last episode. That's super important, first to identify that. If I had to give anybody advice on how to properly fit the WF-1000X Mark Vs, it's that it's not like your shoe size that you can just go to a store and say, oh, yeah, I'm a size 11. Let me grab those, right? Throw out and forget whatever ear tip size you've ever used on any Sony earbud before. Start from scratch, properly go through the fit test to confirm your seal. Here's the other thing. This super soft urethane ear tip that's on there is designed to squeeze and form fit into the ear canal to be able to give you the perfect seal. Part of the reason why it's urethane and not silicone is for that reason. It can be molded easier to form fit the individual's ear because all of our ear canals in the spaces of our ears are different. Anyway, so I don't know how this is going to translate, but I just kind of want to show you guys kind of my wear routine, okay? And have it this way. I've got like, this is really crazy, right?
This is a weird
It
segment.
is, yeah, but we're going to have fun with this because you're looking at the ear tip, right? Here you go. No, but so I place it in the ear almost like a hook, right? So I kind of hook it into the ear this way, and while I'm applying pressure, I twist. And then when I do that, when I twist, I have just, it sounds weird now because I'm only hearing things from this side of the room, but it's an amazing seal. I spent time, with the fit test, I got the fit test done, but for me, I'm like, nah, that can't be right. I didn't think that was right. So I bounced back and forth for ear tips until I settled in, and I'm like, wow, this is actually the one that fits best for me. And the impact of properly fitting with a secure fit and comfort of these earbuds not only helps noise canceling, but also if you're the type of person that enjoys music with low bass tone, when you get that amazing...
Why did you say it like that? Like it's a bad thing. I love bass.
I wanted people to feel awkward for a second.
I'm a +4. Somebody's a +4. I don't know if that was...
Ronan, I think.
Was it Ronan? No.
No,
I think it was Joey.
Was it Joey? Yeah, Joey, because when I said
Joey.
I'm a +6, he called it was the first flex.
I think so.
Yeah. John's a +10. Yo, but seriously, once you get that sound, once you get the sound isolation, the Dynamic Driver X produces so much pressure and so much low bass tone. It's amazing. Anyway, so there we go. All right, that's it. Boom.
Nice.
Sorry.
No, that's good stuff. It is important because we have had some questions about it, and did you know this is not a segment? I did have to change mine, and I have 2 different sized ears, so +1 for me, I guess.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. Hey.
You know.
All right.
That's awesome.
So there's Malcolm. Welcome. Welcome back as well. So just want to address some questions because we can talk about this. Great conversation with Ronan too. Thank you for helping out. I appreciate that as well. Good insight so far from what I've seen. So Malcolm just lost some receivers due to a power issue. That's not cool, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. Including 2 older ES models. 1080 took a hit in my main room. That's a strong one too, even though it's not ES. And so I'm looking at the new AN1000. So and then also, how does the 360 reality work in movies? So just to really quickly answer that, the 360. If you're talking about the 360. Spatial sound mapping, or
Yes.
I'm assuming that's what that's talking about.
Yeah, I
okay,
think so.
yeah, we can go into that. There's another question there. I was thinking about replacing it with an older ES unit like a 5600. I've heard great things about the 1000. Maybe we just talk about the AN1000 for a little bit.
I think we should. Don't you have an AN1000?
I do.
Flex.
And it's awesome. I can speak to that. It is awesome. And yeah, just to kind of quickly talk about one of the unique features of it, because it is a beast of a receiver. I mean, the 1080 was also, that's actually what I upgraded from, which, it definitely was an upgrade, but it wasn't one of those things that was like a whole new world of things, but it made a big difference. What I want to say is probably one of the coolest features, but it does kind of depend on your setup. If you already have like rear speakers and in ceiling and stuff like that, this isn't necessarily going to be a whole ordeal. I would assume you probably have a lot of that based on that, especially subs. But the AN1000 does work with, and if you want to take advantage of the 360 spatial sound mapping, you can use the SARS3 or the SARS5 rears that are wireless to the AN1000 or the SW3 or SW5 subwoofer. And when you use those, you can actually get better 360 spatial sound mapping using those, where it kind of creates this bubble of audio. And it does sound awesome. But I do want to say, too, is even if you don't have that or don't want to go that route, maybe you already have those speakers, what I appreciate about the change, and it's something IX, it's not 9, it's been a minute. The calibration. I forget the name of the actual calibration, something IX. But anyway.
Yeah, Calibrator IX. I think it's Auto Calibrator.
No, it's got some crazy name because that's what we do with names.
More to come.
More to come on that. But what I liked about it was it actually has you rate it, do the measurements twice. So you have one where the left and right are this way on the flat plane, and it runs through its test of all your speakers, and then you put it on top of this little pedestal thing, and you turn it 90 degrees. So it does a better job of 360 mapping any speakers that you have with that calibration, and I think it does a much better job than just having just a standard left and right, because you're changing the elevation and the orientation, so it's pretty awesome.
Digital Cinema Auto Calibration IX.
I told you it was a little bit more than that, but yes.
I was half right.
That's all right. Hey, teamwork makes the
But
dream
isn't
work.
that me being half wrong also?
Yes, it does. Let's take that.
All right. Yeah, no. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the AN1000 is absolutely a great option, especially in the place of the 1080. I know you are more familiar with the ES line
Yes.
than I am, because Larry does premium. There's another flex. We're going to count. Is that 4? 5?
It's probably 5. But
I'm
it's
going to
okay.
call it 5, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and I'm kind of digging. It's a lot of questions on here. If just along those same lines, Malcolm, can you use the wireless speakers as a zone? I was using a zone for the other 2-channel output for my patio. So in short, Malcolm, the answer is no. Okay. So the cool thing about the integration of the wireless accessories to the receiver is that they work in a unified fashion with the rest of your audio configuration. With 360 SSM, you don't have to have a location-based channel speaker that's symmetric in equidistance here and there. You can place them anywhere, but with 360 SSM as an audio technology, it calibrates the room, reads the locations of the speakers, because they have built-in mics, and what they do is they identify their location, and then they calibrate the audio processing according to their location. Unfortunately, they don't work as independent speakers that can be assigned to a different zone. So,
Good answers. Quick answer to Stefan. Welcome to the party. Appreciate you being here.
I think
with
it's
the
Stephanie.
A95.
I'm gonna call that's Stephanie.
I think it's Stefan. I
Okay.
apologize if
okay.
both of us are wrong. I'm hoping I'm right. I'm going to bet that it's Dag, because
I think you're right.
There was a hockey player.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
You're right.
that's a whole other thing. So hopefully I'm right. Thanks, Joey, for keeping track there. I appreciate it. But asking about the A95 being late, will there be A95M in 2024 or only 2025? I don't really know what's going to happen with whatever is next in that scenario, honestly. Yeah. But A95L is coming very quickly. I don't know if you caught it earlier if you were here, but we saw it today at Cydia, and amazing. It looked awesome. I cannot wait to see more of content that I would like to see on it, especially gaming, things like that. But yeah, it's coming very, very soon. So, and we have released TVs later in the year and past, and it hasn't really changed too much.
Right.
But I don't know.
And sometimes those models are carried over when they're released so late in the year, because they're so it's two ways of looking at it. And follow me if you will. You can either look at it as a late release for 2023 or an extremely early release for 2024. Ooh. I don't know the product roadmap, but what I do know is the A95 is so different than every other TV that we're releasing. I think it's more of the latter. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
By the way, if they want to pre-order the A95L, where can they go?
You can go to the Sony.com website, which is electronics.sony.com, and search A95L.
Wow.
Was that obvious?
A little bit. Just a little bit. I want to apologize for Larry's
It's the
insincere
it's the
behavior
altitude.
here.
It's the altitude.
Stefan, boom, in your face. Oh, you don't have your glasses on. So I'll give that one to Larry because he does not have his glasses on.
Joey,
they
you can
make
take
him
a flex.
sad.
You can take a flex point
And
away
you
from
can
me, Joey.
remove a flex point. Yes.
It's
Appreciate
now,
you being
it's
here,
now
though.
4-4.
All right,
Sorry,
so
Stefan.
it's all good.
Oh.
So now I want to introduce because I mean we've already there they are.
This is so not me.
He'd rather just mispronounce people's names. Anyway, so I want to add in because I like your idea. We have a new segment we are introducing. And of course, we are open to ideas because, I mean, yes, this is episode 3, and every one that we plan on being maybe half an hour has gone significantly longer. So thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. Again, definitely let us know if you have any questions, comments, whatever you want to tell us. We'd love to hear it. But Larry actually had a pretty good idea, and it kind of surprised me, and we're going to roll with it. And we have what's in a name.
What's in a name?
I feel like there should be like a sparkly. No, not a waka.
Is
Like
it
a
that?
sparkly sound or something.
Ding, ling, 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 ling.
Oh god.
Did that work?
Oh my god.
Or was that awkward?
No, I think everybody said no to that. But
If I'm making people feel uncomfortable, I'm doing my job.
this is true. That is your goal.
What's
so,
in a name?
Yeah, many, and this was a conversation we had in the last segment, but we're going to talk a little bit more about it.
Okay, hold on. Can I call an audible here?
Yeah, we always wing it, so why not?
Yeah. So we want to try something fun. All right. Think about
Ooh.
the craziest model name of a Sony product that you think is just a very unusual name, and we will attempt to decipher the coding of that name so that you can know they actually make sense. How about that? Well, I'm not touching PlayStation. I didn't even look.
You just saw PlayStation.
I just saw PlayStation. I got really nervous.
You guys are on the same wavelength sometimes. I love
PlayStation.
that.
Yeah, no, multipolar world. I want to also. We've actually.
I would love
yeah.
to do that, but I know we're technically on a separate part of Sony, but maybe we can figure
Maybe
that out.
next month. We've talked
Be
about
cool.
it. Maybe next month. What happened?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to give to kick things off with what's in the name?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know if you're ready for this one.
No. Hey,
Okay.
sorry.
What do you got? Okay.
LFS 50G.
Okay. Yes, I have it. LFS 50G. All right, you guys ready?
I have a theory, but go ahead.
All right, let's see whose theory is the best. Okay. LFS 50G. It was a lifestyle speaker,
That's where I'm with you on that.
50 series, and because it was a Google Assistant
That's where I'm
supported speaker, that's the G on the end of it.
Nice.
That's a winner.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ah, yes. There it is. I was with you on that one. Oh man. Okay, so we have some. So I don't want this to go too long because you just opened up Pandora's
It's
box.
fun. This is gonna be
It is
fun,
gonna
though.
be fun. But
Look at
which
these.
is great.
It's
but
so many of these, yeah.
We still have other things we would like to talk about too.
All right, let's knock these out real
Yes,
quick.
we will knock these out. But hold on to those other ideas, and we'll revisit this every week, and we're gonna try. And if there are certain ones we don't know, maybe we'll try to figure it out.
Yeah.
The legitimate one.
So Vio?
Yeah, I don't actually know that one, but I
Got you.
believe
So Vio, first of all, look up the logo because even the graphic used for the logo has significant meaning, but it's John. Hold on. Vio is visual, audio integrated. No.
You need a lifeline?
Yeah, Lifeline. I'm gonna phone a friend. I'm trying to remember.
Video, audio, integrated architecture.
That's it.
And as a bonus, the V and A are a wavelength,
A wave. Yep.
and I/O
Is the computer
is
language.
Digital.
Digital.
I'm drawing a blank now.
Yep. The ones and zeros.
Yeah, binary code.
Binary code. Yep.
Oh,
That's what it is. It's a
wow.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We are definitely a company of engineers. Okay. Listen, some of these I can knock out really quickly. Okay. HTs. That will always be a home theater device. Every time.
I actually don't even know what that is.
I don't know their product either.
I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find out. If you wanna, so
Yeah.
I like that Ronan brought that up, but I do wanna. Where did it go? Where did it go? Joey, down towards the bottom. Wireless free.
Yes. Yeah, WF
Wireless
is
free.
wireless free. 1000 is the Series X. We're currently investigating.
What was it?
We're
MTM, what was it?
Yeah, look,
HT
MTM
205?
HT205. Let's see. So IBO, here you go. IBO.
So
That
we were
was like
talking
the
about that
duh.
earlier.
We were just talking about that earlier. IBO it is artificial intelligence bot is actually what IBO is an acronym for.
Yeah, it's almost disappointing.
It is. It is.
Really, but
100%.
oh man.
Video, audio, input, output. That's it.
I was thinking of Bravia.
Yeah, you were thinking Bravia.
Oh,
Yep.
that makes
Yep.
more sense. Okay, this is what it is. The MTM HT205. I don't know much about it.
I don't either.
We're gonna have to revisit that one.
Yeah.
Of course, throwing curveballs. That was Malcolm, wasn't it? Gotta make
Probably.
my life challenging.
Yeah, shouts out to Mexico Soldier catching the wavelength. Okay, so I'll go through mine really quick. Just here's my wrap up to this real quick. So for future, our studio or professional headsets that start off with MDR, that is micro dynamic receiver. It is telling you the structure, architecture, the quality of the product. Okay, we've already talked about WF signifying wireless free, but WH is wireless headset. Okay, so it is a headband style. So you see that. SUWL 855. S is Sony, U is ultra slim, and WL is for wall mount. There you go. We talked about CH and BH. Our wireless speakers that start off with SRS is the sound retrieval system, is what that is. And last but not least, SARS, Sony or sound accessory. RS is for rear speaker. If I could take the mic off and drop it, that would have just happened.
Wow, that's actually that's.
Oh,
a
did
lot.
it sound good? I won't do it anymore.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right.
And I love this. Yeah. I love this comment. I did not know this. It's time for a multiplayer world. Aibo means pal in Japanese. That actually is like one of those super convenient things where it's like that is if that's I believe it. I can't.
I bet you it's perfect. I bet you that was probably the reason.
Right.
And then they made the acronym fit.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they would do that too. Let's see.
Dang, Malcolm,
Man,
I'm sorry,
losing
man. I
some
hate
stuff,
that, bro.
man.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Ooh,
Yep.
8 homes. Yikes.
All right. What am I missing?
The NWZX300.
I literally skipped over I'm sorry.
Skipped over what?
The ES and then also Alpha.
That's okay. We went over a lot. We can save some for next time.
Yeah, there's always next time.
We do it, yes. 'Cause we're already like a lot in, and we still haven't gotten to the updates and the did you know.
Well, it's okay. We need to roll. This is
We
probably,
do.
It's probably my fault. It's okay.
That's okay.
This is what happens when you let me hang with friends.
Yeah. All right. So let's make a note on some of these other ones that we haven't gotten to.
Just by the way, we used to make monitors with an MFM suffix. So I don't know if it's supposed to be an MFM or MTM.
Interesting.
No, well, MTM is what. I did Google it, and it looked like a crazy thing that I've never seen before. But
We'll keep researching that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, keep us on our toes.
yeah, let's
I
look
love
at
it.
that stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
Joey
it
B gives you a brilliant idea.
You like? Oh, I'm winning.
Oh man,
All right,
I
cool.
love this. All right, yeah. So let's move on
Yep.
because it is getting pretty late too. And as awesome as this is, but let's get through this and we could chat a little bit after as well. I think it's time for probably the one that I think that we like the most is
Did you know?
What? Gosh, I think we hang out too much.
We do.
All right, so this is the
I've
one
been waiting
I know.
for this.
This is the one I had this idea, and I'm so mad at myself for not at least explaining it to somebody else, just because this would have saved us earlier a lot of hassle, and I regret many of my decisions from earlier today.
Now I'm interested because I know the challenges we had earlier today. Now I really want to know how you knew the solution all along.
I'm so mad, but this is how we learn. This is how we get better, right? It's continuous self-improvement. So we're gonna go back to digital imaging for a moment. Let's talk about proxy recording.
Okay.
I did not know until I looked this up, and as soon as I saw it, I knew Larry didn't know it, just because it's cameras. So of course he didn't know it. So what it is, though, this is the thing that's so cool. So it actually kind of blew my mind. And I know there's a couple of steps that it does depend on your particular editing setup. But here's where it would have fit with our scenario. So I'm going to tell this in the form of a story.
Okay.
So earlier today, when we were at Cydia, we recorded a bunch of segments, a bunch of B-roll and stuff. John did a great job as well, and Larry presented fantastically. Well done, sir. And we submitted that. We uploaded it to where we upload this, where our editors who are remote download this stuff, and we're going to make some shorts that we wanted to post today. Guess what didn't happen yet? Well, because it took so long, because we were in a hotel Wi-Fi that was lacking, to say the least. Yeah. So here's what proxy recording is, and it's on a lot of our alpha cameras from the last couple of years, really. I don't have the full list, but proxy recording allows you to simultaneously record the same information at a lower resolution and a lower bit rate.
Okay.
So you're talking, if you record like we did, it would then create essentially at the same time a copy in 720p at 9 megabits per second.
Okay.
Now here's where it gets cool.
Okay.
If you have a remote editor, like we had in this case, you now upload those lower resolution files, and all you have to do is rename, and when the new one, the full version is out in 4K, HLG, all the fun bits and bobs, you download that, and they replace that. Oh. So they can start the editing process almost immediately, and then you put in your full version, and it's essentially done.
There's a part of me that thinks Derek kept that to himself just for the purposes of sharing that with me right now.
No, it just happened that way, and I regret so much of this morning. I do apologize, but when I was talking, because I wrote this, that I was like, oh, proxy recording, that's cool. I don't think a lot of people know about it. I didn't know about it.
Right.
Clearly, Larry didn't know about it, and so I put it in my notes, and then was like, oh, we're going to talk. I was like, oh. Proxy recording would have been great right now. Yeah. And I know that not everybody's going to need that situation, but I think it's just such a cool feature to talk about.
No, it is a cool feature. And next
now
time,
you know.
Next time we do, the next time we do this, we'll do that. How about that?
Yes.
Right, sweet. Now, okay. So I dropped a YouTube short. Did you know on A95L? And I've been talking a lot about how it's just a different TV. We've actually talked about that through this entire segment. And as Derek mentioned earlier, we got a chance to spend a lot of time with it this week. So one of the things that we uncovered that was different was picture modes.
Yes.
Did you know that traditionally on all just about manufacturers' televisions, you have some form of standard, some form of vivid, cinema, custom, so on and so forth. But that's it. The A95L doesn't just have those picture modes. It's content source driven. There is a content type section where you can choose PC, game, video, professional. I'm trying to remember all the different ones.
All of them, because that was new.
And each of those, it's in the B-roll, my man. Each of those different content types unlocks a different picture modes specific to that. So as an example, if you go to game, now you unlock FPS mode and RTS mode, which are, I know everyone out here knows this, but those are specific gaming
Larry,
types.
pro gamer, is going to explain it to you.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Those are it's just our way of having the TV intelligently figure out the best settings for your specific game type. It's crazy. And also, when we're talking photo, then it goes to professional or whatever. And this came up on our first episode. Someone asked, when will the Bravia television support an alpha picture profile? Like that came up. Now, it's not branded alpha, but there is the understanding that our TVs are used for more than just consuming movies and TV shows. There's a game console element, clearly by that option. There's also people that use it for video editing, photo processing, and things like that, which now you have that. And it's really nice for a TV to have these pre-calibrated settings in there, designed specifically for your content source and type.
Yep.
It's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
we're definitely going to have to make a couple videos about that, kind of breaking it down. It is a different quick settings menu as well, which has these in some really cool graphical modifications and adjustments. It's awesome looking. I'm actually really excited for that.
Yep.
Do we have to be out of here by 11?
No.
Just curious? Okay. I just wanted to
we're
make
good.
sure, just
We're
because
We're
I know
good.
we got to.
Let's just keep it going.
Yes, sir.
Oh, if we can.
Oh, yeah, we can. I just wanted to make sure that we're.
Yeah. We'll get
Anyway.
through what we need to, what we really want to talk about.
Yeah. So the next one, which I think this is a great idea to bring this up because we talked about large panel sizes in the 98-inch specifically. We talked about that earlier, and a question that often comes up more so in stores,
Yes.
but it does come up sometimes in the digital world as well.
Yes.
Is why is it so much more expensive to go to the 98-inch X90L from the 85?
It's a small price jump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's subjective, right? I guess. But it's a great question. It's a totally legitimate question
Right.
because there are a lot of people that are unaware of exactly how the manufacturing process works. And I am by no means an expert on the process, but we talked a little bit about it earlier. And you said I was right, so
You are right.
That was pretty cool. But
Smart guy.
when it I play one on TV. The cool thing, well, yeah, did you know? Right. The way that they actually cut the panels from sheets, and the downside is depending on the actual size that they're manufacturing, you actually have more waste in many cases when you go up to those bigger sizes, which then costs them more to be able to create more of them. And
Right.
that extra waste obviously is waste.
Right.
So I know they've become more and more efficient with the 85-inch size because that was ridiculously priced years ago. Many of us probably remember when 65-inch was ridiculously priced. And you could go all the way back to 27-inch or whatever. I mean, that was a different CRT and all that good stuff. But it's just the way that technology has evolved, and as they get better and better with efficiency for larger sizes, we'll see that start to change. But yeah, it's that waste that just costs them so much more.
Yeah, that's why it's an anomaly sometimes when a manufacturer has a display size different than everyone else. Right?
Yeah.
We know the OLED world right now is basically 42, 48, 55, 65, 77, 83 with respect to types, right?
Right.
It's consistent for that very reason. There are calculations and cost and things of that nature and waste, to minimize waste based upon full sheets. So yeah, no, you're absolutely correct.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, so let's move on, and we can chat about some other stuff based
Yeah,
on
sure.
questions that come
Why
up
not?
to knock out those things we actually had on the agenda.
Yeah.
Updates.
Update.
Are you ready? I don't know how ready he was. I just hope you're consistent with them, but
I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I'm just going with it.
So updates. Though this one actually came from kind of looking into this proxy recording and the imaging side, and something that we talked about Creators app earlier. If you have a Sony camera, might be a good idea because a lot of people miss this. I myself have been one of these people. You don't update it. We talked about updates for TVs, how it's continuously improving performance and things like that. That is a thing that happens for your cameras. The downside is that being that your cameras aren't connected to a network for the purposes of streaming or anything like that, you don't get a notification that tells you that it's time to update. So I would recommend if you do have a Sony camera, go to the Sony support page, look up your model, and you can look at the downloads. I think he's probably going to show something on screen, maybe? Yeah, he's doing cool signs. And look it up, look at the downloads, and it'll tell you what the most recent version download is for the firmware. And you can go into your camera settings, check the about, or I forget, version is actually what it is in one of the settings at the end to see if you need an update. Because it can make a big difference in the performance. So,
and if you're anything like me and an absolute genius when it comes to digital imaging, don't be alarmed if you have a newer camera that the update process has changed. See, the last time I updated a camera before recently, it was USB connected to the computer, download this, upload this, and all that, right? I was pleasantly surprised that the process has changed. And SD card kind of blew me away that I used SD card to update the Alpha 7 Mark IV. So that was pretty cool. So side note.
shout out to Malcolm here. Yes, thank you
Oh,
for
the
that.
lenses.
The
Yes.
lenses. You know, I did think about that, but that absolutely is important too. So having that connected to your camera, you can actually do your updates. I don't think I've done that in a long time, but you can check the version on that stuff too and see when you need an update. So thank you, Malcolm. I know you're a DI guy, digital imaging. Sorry, internal stuff. But yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate that. That's a great call out.
Yeah. Headphones Connect app. Since we're on the role of updating, listen, people, update your headphones. Okay, update them. There is so much. I know I personally am passionate about our post-purchase support. We laughed about it today. I say it to anyone that'll listen to me, which isn't many people sometimes. But we're not a company that does firmware updates to fix broken things, by and large, right? We're a company that creates firmware updates to enhance or improve the product that was already good enough for you to buy, right? So BTLE going to LinkBuds S and some of these, like that's just based upon customer demand, not demand requests. Like, hey, it'd be nice if we could support that. So that happened. But anyway, yeah, multi-point connection. I'm so used to saying multipolar world, I screwed that up. But yeah, it's so first of all, it's a good rule of thumb to like always update your electronics first and foremost, right? Headphones in particular. And if I can take a second, I want to talk a little bit about WF-1000X Mark V.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Been hearing and reading a lot of concerns out there regarding battery drain, comparing one earbud to the other one, saying that one earbud drains more than the other, right? This is something that was very interesting to me, and this is not something I took offense to. I didn't feel defensive about. But here's the technology. The great thing about the WF-1000X Mark Vs is both the left earbud or the right earbud can be the main unit. Whichever earbud is designated as the main unit, it now has the responsibility to then deliver the signal and all of the information to the receiving earbud, which is the opposite one, okay? So now what you have is basically a rear-wheel drive car, if there's any automotive people out there, all right? You've got one part of the earbud doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and the other one is simply receiving information and doing its thing. It's an imbalance of process that's happening, thus an imbalance of battery drainage, okay? If anyone's having that challenge, I want you to try something. First, I think we'll come back and put a link inside of the chat for our quick help guide, because there's a help guide specifically for this, some things that you can do to troubleshoot. But instead of grabbing your right earbud first, which, like, let's just be real, most people are doing that, right? Choose the left one and have the left earbud be the main. Do it for a day, a week, a month, whatever the case may be. And if you are getting the equivalent drainage, imbalance of drainage, if you will, on that side versus the right side, then you understand that it is just it's the byproduct of the technology. If you look into other earbuds that are out there in the marketplace, it's a very similar experience. So I'll leave it at that. But I wanted to touch on that because that has become a hot topic, and I didn't want to avoid that, especially if someone is watching this video.
Sure. Yeah. So. Yeah. And Joey says he experienced that. So yeah, I mean, if you get a chance, I'd be very curious to know, just so we can better understand it too, and we can relay that to the proper people that might be able to give us more info, or we can give them more insight into it, possibly too.
And Joey will keep it real, I know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And the last thing I just want to talk about too, just to mention it, because we don't have all the details, but we did, game menu, when we announced it in April, when the videos came out first about the new game menu and things like that with the new TVs, there were some features on there, specifically things like the screen size adjustment that aren't available yet. They're coming. That's really all that I have on that. It's coming. We know that it isn't out yet, but it is coming. I hope sooner than later, but we don't actually have a date that we can share at this time. But maybe we will have one in the near future. So obviously we'll share that with you guys when we know.
Yeah, I mean, those features are complex.
Yeah.
they're features that will have to exist on multiple panel types, multiple TVs, multiple sizes, right? Especially when you're talking about screen size reduction.
Scalability based on the size and everything.
There's a lot of things that we want to make sure are 100% functioning. It's better to overtest than to release and have to say, can you please go download a firmware update to fix the mess that we just uploaded to your...
I think that goes back to what we talked about earlier with the same sort of thing. So just making sure that it's right, and when it's ready, it will be ready. Yep. So yeah, that's awesome. That was 100%. A lot of stuff. So Cydia was awesome.
It was.
We had a good time. Some very cool stuff. The last thing I do want to talk about, because we're going to start to wrap up. So if you guys have any other questions, please let us know. Comments too, and don't forget to. Just as a reminder, we will be checking the comments. So if you think of something after the fact, you can always go back in and pull up the video and throw a comment in. Or if you're watching this after the fact, Larry and I will be checking the comments as well. I do want to talk very quickly about the shootout.
Oh yeah,
because I know that was something that you specifically wanted to talk about, because you talk about it very well. The way that you did it, it was kind of emotional and deep and everything like that, with like a Fila type of thing. But the way that we do like the FPJ or front projector and TV shootout, we can't say too much about it, but you said it more eloquently. So I'll let you kind of just explain what we do and why.
Yeah. So with FPJ. Front projection, our projectors, it's trade shows like this where we can actually do apples to apples comparisons to really showcase what we do. There are a lot of non-standardized units of measurement out there with respect to projectors, right? There are some companies that when they discuss lumens, they only use white light. They don't account for the entire color spectrum of performance, which is more challenging, right? So on and so forth. Anyway, one of the things that we're proud of as a brand is we're not afraid to allow viewers and participants in trade shows like this to be able to experience this for themselves. So in the shootout room, there were 9 total projectors, all linked to the same content, same content source.
That setup was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy setup. Same source, projecting on the same screen from the same throw distance. And we invited anyone who wanted to come in to sit, mostly a lot of custom integrators and some of the dealers, to sit in that room, and all the operator would do was toggle one on, one off, and allow the audience to do their own judging of the content and how it looked and how it performed. That's bold.
Yeah, you're putting yourself on the spot.
Right. You can't control the response. First of all, the way people perceive things, it's already subjective, audio and video alike, right? It's also it's so subjective, right? But sitting in that room and watching the demonstrations and seeing people, there were a lot of aha moments around our projectors versus some of the other ones in the space that people, because on paper, think that they are better or should outperform, that just don't. They just don't do it. So that was a cool experience, and I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot.
Yeah, it's something that, that is the best way to show it, and I love the fact that, and I can't speak for anybody else, but the fact that we're willing to do it. And I know that there will be certain situations, we didn't really hear any, but where somebody might push back and say, hey, there's no way you're on the same setting. Ooh, look, there it is. Like, they are so upfront about that stuff, which I absolutely love that. Yep. So Malcolm, man, it's like you always want to make things challenging, but with a good question. So I'm going to send this one to your way.
I think I know that answer.
From Malcolm?
Yeah, I think I know that answer.
Really?
Oh, from Malcolm?
Yeah. Then okay. He didn't read
I don't.
It, so.
Are you kidding me? You trying to throw me a I'm sorry. No, I don't know that.
Yeah. So fantastic tech question.
You know it? John knows it.
John, okay, so I'm just going to read it just for the people that might be just listening, and then you can answer because you're smart. He's more of a DI guy than I am. How does Sony handle connecting a brand new lens to an old body camera? Does the lens share and download the data to the camera without you knowing? Ooh, mysterious. But yeah, what's the
I think this is a first, right?
First what?
I don't think I've ever answered a question on the
You have not.
Before.
This is a don't ruin it.
No pressure. All right, so there's obviously a lot of key information the lens has to pass through to the body. So even if it is an older body, it still needs to know first off, what's the model of the lens? Because that'll give it all the key information. Focal range, minimum, maximum aperture, things like that. If it has any shortcut buttons that the camera body can now take advantage of, things of that nature. It's very rare, and I don't remember any actually, it's very rare that there's a new lens that don't work on a new body. There may be some new features that are released for new lenses or new lens attachments like multiply, I can't remember the term now. But yeah, there's a few things that the body may not be able to take advantage of because it is an older body. But for the most part, it'll still work as a normal functional lens.
And that's one of the advantages of the E-mount system, right? Like we're in our development, we're mindful of those things as long as there are no hardware limitations. Am I okay with saying that?
Yeah, I think so.
I just applied what I know for TVs to that. Okay, all right. There we go.
So in talking about a Fila, so everybody's liking this question so far. So I'll let you handle this one because obviously you're much more familiar with it.
So a Fila does have its native operating. It has a native operating system and user interface. It's actually one of the. So the cool thing about a Fila is that car is representative of partnerships. Like literally, that was one of the things. So Unreal Engine is basically, I don't know the term. Everything is written from that. Am I saying that properly?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So Unreal Engine was. Yeah. All the graphics. Yeah. Thank you. It is a completely built in-house operating system. It is not Android-based. It is all through that collaboration between Honda and Sony. We should go dig up some of those videos from there and turn them into shorts because they're very informative because we do have some. I'm not gonna go off on a Fila, but I'm not.
Okay, that's fair.
But it's good. It's a unique interface, and even the entertainment experience is uniquely different. Traditional vehicles right now, you can set your sound profile to identify either whole car or individual for the driver. That's the way it works, right? Each passenger there's enough speakers in there that each passenger can have an individual atmospheric experience in there, which is insane. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, like everything about a Fila that we know came from CES. So it's been a minute since then, and we don't know where it is at this point. It's knows?
Definitely not in my driveway.
That is very true. That is very true. Yeah, so I think we should wrap this up because it's been a minute and it's been awesome. It's been honestly, dude, I feel like every time we do this, we could just go forever. Like we still haven't eaten. It's like, hey, we'll eat afterward. It won't be a big deal. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to be open, but that's fine. But as just kind of a closing note from me, thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate those that stuck through all the way to the end. A lot of you that I love to see back again. It's awesome. We see that. But please let us know in the comments any questions you have. Feedback, things you'd like to see, maybe other videos you'd like us to make that are common questions, like shorts or whatever. We're here to support. We are absolutely listening for whatever it is you want to throw at us, and we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, listen, the reason why we're here and we continue to do this is exactly the energy we get from you all. And I am so excited every time the calendar turns and we're starting to prepare for another show. So next time, we got a lot to talk about.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
So,
but I appreciate the count on that, Joey. I hope you're accurate because, Larry, the 10, I knew he would find a way to make it happen. There's no doubt about that. But we appreciate that. But, of course, one final question.
Okay.
Or let's just very briefly address it before we go because, again,
I figured that was coming.
What's that? Oh, that question? Yeah. No, I mean, it's a natural progression to it, and it is a great question. So Multipolar World has a crackpot theory. I love that. If Sony establishes said OS or UI in their EVs, could said OS or UI be ported to Sony Electronics devices?
Anything's possible.
See ya. No.
I don't. There's no way I can know. Right?
Yeah. I'd love
The
to
fact
see
that
it.
it's a theory is something that we can watch closely.
Yeah. And we'll give you brownie points if you're right.
Absolutely. Derek will buy you an Afila.
No. Remove that from the record. John, edit that out.
Can you please add that to the description also? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. No, that's no disclaimers this time. But yeah, thank you all very much. This has been exciting. Looking forward to another one. Keep it going. We review all the comments, like Dara said. Can't wait.
Yep. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Have a great evening, great weekend, great month until we talk to you again.
Yep.
See ya.
Catch you next time.